Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Paletta's Picks again. I can't believe it's the beginning of November. Where did October go? And as we all know, this is Thanksgiving, so we all have lots to be thankful for. I especially do. I appreciate all of you out there. I'm thankful that you like what I'm doing here, and I'm thankful that John and the crew here are giving 25% off on the Paletta's Picks again, so that's all good for everyone. I got some really nice picks this month. He's gotten in some really cool stuff in the past month. Again, I can't believe how much he's got in such a short order, because the month of October literally just flew by. And what's nice about this month is this is when everybody seems to really get back into the hobby. So there'll be some nice corals to help you fill your tanks with. And since it is November, hopefully you'll be thankful for these new presents when you add them to your tank. Our first pick this month is the white zombie Zoanthid. It's really, the pictures do not do it justice. Seeing it up close, it's fantastic. I thought it was a Paleothoa because of how big the polyps are. The biggest one is almost the size of a quarter. The rest are diamond nickel size. It's a great looking aquacultured Zoanthid. One of the more unique pieces here today is something I've not seen before. It's a red Christmas tree rock, a red Porites with little green specks of color in it, but you have the Christmas tree worms popping out as well. As with all Christmas tree worms, if you can keep the Porites thriving and feed the worms, they can live for a long time in your tank and it will slowly grow and encrust. And if you're lucky, you'll get more and more worms on this over time. But I love all the pieces I've picked so far today, but I have to say this is my favorite because I've not ever seen this before. The coral that I think is probably my second favorite here today, but actually these are all my favorites. I would take them all home. So I'm going home and sending in my corals and costumes entry to get these. But this is a really nice looking Chalice Coral. You can see the streaks of purple and green with the bright orange eyes and the undulations. I believe it's a Kinophilia. It's a really nice looking coral that will be outstanding in the bottom of your tank. If you're a Chalice collector, this is one I would definitely look at adding to your tank. Next is something new that are coming in. We're seeing a lot of new Galaxias coming in. This is the Starburst Galaxia. Personally, I'm not a big Galaxia lover, but this is, if you have space to put this, the reason I'm saying it, these guys put out sweepers like no other corals, but they're absolutely fantastic looking coral. If you want something to fill space with something that's really interesting, this Galaxia is one of the newbies that I would love to have in a specialized type of tank where you have space and where it's not allowed to burn anything. Next on our list is this beautiful Pectina. It's been growing here for a while. You can see the 3 or 4 different colors in it. As with all Pectina, other than Space Invader, this prefers to pretty much be in the dark. You don't want this getting bright light. It'll tend to retract and pull back. It likes dark. Under an overhang, in a cave, that's perfect for it. Even better if you can put it in there and occasionally feed it. You'll see the sweeper tentacles coming out at night. Put in a couple mysis shrimp or some other small food like copepods or rotifers. It'll do great for you. It's something to fill space where you can't put a lot of other corals. As you can see, he has a large choice of really nice Scoles, but what I really like is this orange and green. Some call it bleeding apple. There's what I think is a bleeding apple up higher, but this has the colors of Halloween, the really garish green and the really bright orange. It really will stand out in the bottom of your tank. Again, this is a coral that should be fed, does well in the bottom of the tank. Everybody says I don't do enough on beginners corals, and to me they're all beginners corals because you could lose any of them at any time. But here's one that I really like, and this is this blue starlight Suspicularia. It's aquacultured. It's bluish with kind of orangish tips under white lights. Obviously under blue lights, it kind of gets washed out, it just looks blue. It's a really nice beginner's coral. If you have soft corals and have difficulty finding some, this is a nice one to add. It will grow and cover the back wall of your tank very nicely. Sanjay, in fact, has this over his entire back wall of his soft coral tank. That's where I would put it. That way it grows away from everything, and it's a great starter coral. If you want to see how good your tank's doing, this will give you a good indicator of how well it's doing, because this should grow and thrive in a good tank. We also have what I consider another kind of Halloweenish looking coral, this Indo Chalice. It's bright fluorescent green with streaks throughout it. it really stands out. Another coral for the bottom of the tank. You can feed it or not feed it. I've had them do well both, as long as your water conditions are doing well. The one thing I've learned with chalices, they like you to have slightly higher sulfate levels than you typically think of. So if you're doing ICP tests, make sure that your sulfate levels are adequate to keep this coral thriving. Next we have a beautiful blue-eyed Gawny. It is yellowish green with blue eyes and white centers around it. It's growing and encrusting. You can see it's not just the usual bulb that you see, but it's already spreading out. It's been aquaculture here for a while, and this would be something, if you're a Gawny collector, this is one I would definitely add to my garden. We also have a really nice purple water coral. Usually these are kind of muted, but this purple's really bright, and you can see the bright green eyes on this bad boy. This is a really nice looking coral. It's also a unique shape because it has that one little hole in the center. It's not just a kind of boring flat piece. It has undulations and bright colors, which is kind of things that I look for in a coral. Thanks again, everyone, for watching Paletta's Picks. I hope you've enjoyed them and my discussion of the wonderful corals that John has here. I'm also happy to announce that presently on Reef to Reef, John's running a contest, Corals and Costumes, where you go on Reef to Reef, you register, and John's going to give out $5,000 in gift cards to the lucky winners to be used here at corals.com. I'm in fact going to enter as an old reef guy so that I can possibly get $1,000 worth of stuff here. So I push you all to enter. You can do whatever you want, but look at the contest, register. It'll run through the middle of November, and you all have a good chance of winning. So enjoy, and thanks again for watching these Paletta's Picks.